So I will scribe a line at the point that the inner and outer helical are level with each other, which actually happens to be exactly at the infinity position here, at the infinity stop. So I will mark 2 lines across here, and 1 line opposite them. And hopefully I'll be able to distinguish the marks I've made from the assorted scratches that other people have put in here at various times in the past. Off with that. 4 screws here hold the bellows to the back of the front standard. You better have those out. The bellows should come free, they do, with only a little bit of persuasion. 4 screws here hold the front standard to the focus mount. They're only slightly loose. That one's not loose at all. That one is. Okay. Let me close the struts down. I'm going to have to lean on this a bit. That's better. Get that screw loose. If you're trying to fight screws out of the front standard on any of these cameras with the struts, don't do it with the struts locked out in the forward position, because otherwise you'll just end up bending the struts by leaning on things. Either support the front standard from inside or collapse the front at the very least. How are we doing here? Oh, yeah, no one's had that focus helical apart in a long time. You put these pieces in this container. They're all going to have to be soaked in the degreaser for a good length of time to get anything useful out of that lot. What have we got left in the body? Well, the struts obviously, and the bellows themselves. Now I've got to fight that last screw out of that tripod socket. So the struts mechanism, single screw at the top, which is not over tight. One at the base of the camera, same position. That's not over tight either. Collapse those struts down. There are 2 screws inside the body in the film cassette chamber. Well, and this one looks like someone's had a go at it. Yeah, possibly because they couldn't get it out. That's going to need some hammer treatment, I believe. Let's find the correct tools, especially the hammer. I've got an old screwdriver here that's lost its top. It's very solid. It's ideal for use as an impact driver, which is how it's getting used today. And basically I've just got to tap it with a hammer while I'm providing plenty of torque on it, and that should break that screw loose. Of course you can't see me doing this because I've got this clamp between my knees. 2 sharp raps with the hammer, and that screw came loose straight away. No arguments, no fights, no damage to the screw. Let's get the struts out. What have we got here? Oh, that I can't get them out just yet. I've got to take that plate off the top of the camera because that plate is holding the shutter release shaft in place. And the shutter release shaft is in turn holding the struts mechanism in place. Another pair of pliers. Let's throw a bit more daylight on the situation. Here's the shutter release shaft. Now I can slide that off there. That's our struts. There's the return spring. And the body is looking fairly empty. That last screw on the tripod socket is going to need a bit of persuasion. Can you see it? Yeah, you can just about see it. So we'll get the persuader on the job. It turns, but it doesn't want to turn. I'll try a bit of solvent on that one. I do not want to have to snap that screw off and have to clean the thread out. That screw does not want to come out, and discretion is the better part of valour, as they say. I'm not taking it out because chances are I'll break it before it actually comes out, and then I'll have more work. So that can stay exactly where it is. But this shaft here, for the sprocket shaft, frequently you don't have to take these out, but this one's a bit gummy, so I'm going to. The little grub screw on the sprocket at the top here. There'll be one down here too. I will take those screws out entirely because they are just going to get lost if I don't take very great care of them. And then that shaft will lift out. He says, confidently. Oh, that screw's blocking it. Okay. Well, we can deal with that. Now the shaft should lift out. It still doesn't want to. It's jamming on something. It's jamming on that. Why is it jamming on that? That one's loose. This one is not. Corrosion is about the only thing I can think of. I can drive it out. There's a little paper or cardboard disc in here at the base to keep the adhesive from getting into that shaft. See if they'll tap down. I'll get that little piece of card out from there and drive that thing back up. I need a needle or something to get under that. That's something very sharp. A pin might do it. Yep, here it is. Just a little cardboard insert And now, tappy tap tap, and that shaft should come out. And hey presto, it does. Yeah, there's certainly corrosion there. And that is as far apart as I need to take this body. I will inspect these bellows and I will look closely at how well they're fixed to the casting in case they need to be re-glued. Just a little bit suspect looking at this top corner. Apart from that, there's just a lot of filth in here. I don't know what that is. Some sort of unicorn grease or something. I think that a lot of parts to the degreaser would be the thing to do. And then it's late in the day, it's time to pack up. And tomorrow, cleaning up and seeing what I can do with this marvellous camera. Well, another day, another dollar. Let's get into this. I'll start cleaning up the body. So first I've got to get rid of all the loose grit. Not so bad in the back of the body there. Now, with that out of the way, I can start using some naphtha to clean all these surfaces. All dried grease and so forth on the post at the bottom here and the spring for the take-up spool. At the top of the body I need to clean all around these surfaces. There was very little grease there, I would say, because it's all the sand just and grit that was on there just wiped away with a dry paintbrush. And if there'd been a lot of grease about, then most certainly that would not have been the case. There's not much to clean at the base of the camera. Inside here, I think the component count might be fairly high for this camera by the component count regarding replacement parts needed. It's certainly not a wonderful thing. It's quite good. There's still a lot of brown marks down in here, like I don't know if it's dried grease or whatever it is. I'll see if I can see the back of that. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Okay, that'll probably do for the body for the moment. I need to clean up the focus mount. Well, this looks well crusted in dried grease. That's the worst of it gone. Let's try some naphtha, see if that will clean up. Yeah, that seems to be doing the job. Let's see if I can get down behind those two posts. Take a bit of that. That looks pretty good. Once more through it, I think, and we'll clear the inside good. There's not much marks coming off on that now. That's good. I'll just wipe the back, the inside face. Right, there's the focus mount. That's cleaned up quite well. Just running the back of that toothpick around there to see if I'm picking up any feel of roughness on it. It all feels quite good. I think that'll be fine. And that is probably as far as I can go with that particular part until such stage as I've got the mechanical components back from the ultrasonic cleaner, which will be next. I suppose before those parts come out of the cleaner I should get to and clean up this take-up spool. Sometimes these spools have absolutely stuffed in the slots with pieces of old film that have broken off in there. You can usually encourage them out, even if it means taking another piece of film to push through the slot to push those pieces around where you can get at them, and then pick them out. If you go to the trouble of removing those scraps, it makes it much easier loading a new film in the future. Well, I can certainly see the marks that I made on the focus scale ring, my alignment marks. I don't see any others there, so it means that the other marks I saw on the inner and outer helical were almost certainly put there just for aligning those components. Now here, I'll zoom you in a bit. So as much as we're going to get, possibly it is. Right. Here I can see the indentations from the heads of the screws where it's been located on the outer helical. Now there's a series of 3 in each case. It tells me that this has been fitted in 3 different spots on the outer helical at different times. That's not a particularly good sign, and it certainly doesn't point to the focus being likely to be correct once it's reassembled to the position it was when I found the camera. So that's something I might have to adjust later. That's not a serious issue, just a minor annoyance.